Here's what's happening now. The holiday weekend is here. We are at Arts Beats and Eats live in Royal Oak, and we have got a fantastic holiday weekend for you straight ahead. Paula.
I guess you could kind of call this buried treasure inside a storage unit, but now the search is on for the rightful owner.
All right, Paula, also a tanker truck catches fire on I-75, shutting down traffic. First at 4, we're learning when all those lanes will be back open. And the former Stanford swimmer convicted of raping an unconscious woman walks out of jail after only 3 months. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4 starts now.
Live from downtown Detroit. Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
We begin on Detroit's west side, where a woman in her 80s is carjacked by 2 men. It happened this afternoon at a gas station over on Finkel and Greenfield. We're told the woman was with her daughter. Neither of them were hurt. The 2 men then crashed the car a short time later and tried to make a run for it. Both were taken into police custody. We'll be hearing from that mother ahead on Local 4 News at 5. First at 4, we're learning the right 2 lanes of southbound I-75 at Spring Wells will not reopen until tomorrow night after a tanker truck catches fire. The truck caught fire this morning around 5 a.m. on the River Rouge Bridge. We're told the 35-year-old driver was on his way to the Marathon refinery to fill up when a tire popped. Unfortunately, despite the driver trying to put out those flames, the truck could not be saved.
And when he started climbing the bridge, he could feel that something was hanging up, and when he got over to the shoulder, it was smoking pretty bad. But again, at the dark of night, he just grabbed his fire extinguisher, used that up, and unfortunately by then the tires had caught, and once you start a tire on fire, it's pretty tough to stop.
Right now, the left 2 lanes of southbound I-75 at Spring Wells are back open, but the right 2 lanes are expected to remain closed for repairs until tomorrow night. Moving now to Washington County, eastbound I-96 is back open this afternoon at US 23 after a crash involving several semi-trucks. The crash happened around 6 this morning and spread debris all over the road, causing traffic to be closed for nearly 3 hours during the morning rush. The debris has since been cleared up. All lanes are now back open. No injuries reported. In Detroit's News Center, a man is rushed to the hospital after being shot on the 8700 block of 2nd Avenue. We're told the man was shot in the chest and then rushed to Henry Ford Hospital. No word on what led to that shooting or any possible suspects. This weekend, Arts Beats and Eats kicks off in downtown Royal Oak, and that is where we find Ben, who is live enjoying this perfect weekend festival. Hi, Ben.
Karen, I can't believe it. I mean, this is such a Labor Day tradition, and I can't remember the last time that we have had weather that has been this perfect out here. Sunshine, no humidity, comfortable temperatures. In fact, we've got 70s all across the board right now. Check out these temperatures all across the region. 75 right now in Detroit. Howell, one of our coolest numbers there at 70, even cooler in our North Zone in Port Huron, which is at 68 degrees. Monroe at 74 degrees, and of course sunshine just as far as the eye can see. Enough of a breeze to sort of make things very comfortable to go along with it. Coming up, we'll take a look and see if we can keep this going all the way through the upcoming weekend, and we'll tell you more about what's going on out here at Arts Beats and Eats in Royal Oak in just a few minutes. Karen.
We're looking forward to it. Thank you, Ben. First at 4, we're on top of stories making headlines all across America on your Friday afternoon. We begin in Florida, where Hurricane Hermine hit Florida overnight, knocking out power to more than 250,000 homes. Devin joins us now, and Devin, the storm is now headed up the East Coast, I understand.
That's right, Karen, but it made landfall on Florida's northwest coast early this morning, and 1 person has been killed in this storm so far. The storm has been downgraded to a tropical storm. That doesn't mean the East Coast is in the clear. Parts of Georgia and the Carolinas are now under a state of emergency because they're expecting to get hit with heavy rain in what's left of this storm. Hermine hit Florida with sustained winds of 80 miles an hour. It brought down trees, crushed cars and homes, knocked out power to tens of thousands of people.
While we prepared as much as we could for this storm, quite candidly, this is one of the worst that we've seen in the city in a long time, and unfortunately it's not over yet. We have lost a lot of trees. There's a lot of power lines that are down. Homes are threatened by floodwaters, and our infrastructure is clearly stressed right now.
I mentioned one person was killed in the storm. That happened when a tree fell on a tent in a homeless camp near Gainesville, Florida. Again, Hermine, now a tropical storm, so sustained winds are now at 45 miles an hour. That's still strong enough, but the real problem is all of the moisture that is left in this storm. It could deliver 10 to 12 inches of rain along the southeast coast. So still a lot to watch. Karen, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Devin. In California, Brock Turner, the former Stanford swimmer convicted of rape, walked free today after serving only 90 days of his 6-month rape sentence. Turner's case drew national attention after a judge sentenced him to 6 months for sexually assaulting an unconscious woman. The former Stanford swimmer left the jail early this morning and left without talking to reporters. He now must register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. Jared Fogle, the former Subway pitchman who pled guilty to child porn charges, is now claiming the parents of one of his victims are actually to blame for what happened. In a new court motion, Fogle claims the parents are responsible for what he describes as her, quote, destructive behavior. The new filing comes in response to the two parents suing Fogle, who is currently serving a 15-year prison sentence. The 3 presidential debates have been set, and NBC nightly news anchor Lester Holt will moderate the first presidential debate between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. The debate is scheduled for September 26th in New York. The second presidential debate will be held on October 9th in St. Louis, with a third debate in Las Vegas. Back here at home, one local man is going the extra step to reunite lost military dog tags with the rightful owner. As Paula Tutman reports, the mystery all started with a storage unit being sold at auction.
Okay, so this is a lot of stuff, and it was inside a storage unit in White Lake Township, but inside a small box, I guess what you could call buried treasure. Heafy is, I guess you could say, a purveyor of other people's stuff. You know, he's a buy and sell guy who bids on auctions at storage facilities when the account goes into default. He finds a combination of interesting stuff.
That's a copper buffalo nickel. Yeah.
I've never seen one in real life. Donatable stuff, resellable stuff, definitely throwawayable stuff, and sometimes really, really valuable stuff that goes beyond a dollar value.
Well, this is the box that I found, and this is exactly everything that was in here, but this is what caught my eye were the dog tags.
So Adam bid on a storage room or locker of stuff at the White Lake Township Affordable Storage Yard Saturday. It was locker C2, and it was packed full. Ooh. But also inside was this small box, and in this box, the dog tags of a Korean veteran named William C. Fowler. Adam wants to return those dog tags to Fowler's family or rightful owners.
Person's probably deceased, so trying to find an next of kin or family member or relative, brother, sister, somebody that could take these and, you know, appreciate them.
Joe at Affordable tracked down the original co-tenant of that locker.
Voicemail. Always voicemail.
Okay, we got voicemail. But he too is excited at the prospect of reuniting the dog tags to the rightful owner. Based on the personal effects, we too have been making calls all over the country looking for the owners of the abandoned locker in hopes we can help Adam reunite them with precious family heirlooms. In fact, Adam says he'll give them everything that was inside of that small box. What is that?
This is an actual military award. It's silver. It was issued in the military, and this person mastered rifles.
So we know those dog tags belong to William C. Fowler. He was in the regular army in the Korean War, and he was a Methodist based on those dog tags. If you think you know who his family members might be, contact me on my Facebook page, Local 4 Paula Tutman, so I can connect you with Adam, and we can get you connected back to your family heirlooms. Paula Tutman, Local 4.
Ahead first at 4, he's known as the exercise bandit. We will tell you about the bizarre world record he's trying to break. Plus, Grammy Award winner Alicia Keys speaks about her no makeup campaign and talks about the moment she decided to go product-free. Kimberly.
Karen, good afternoon. New steps are being taken right here in Metro Detroit to protect the blood supply from the Zika virus. Coming up in Good Health, we go inside a blood collection center to show you what's being done.
The coming up all new on Local 4 News at 5 and 6.
A sagging power line making a homeowner nervous and frustrated.
I feel it's an emergency. I really do.
It's Help Me Hank to the rescue, and DTE explaining why sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get a wire right back where it belongs. That story, new tonight.
All right, thank you, Hank. Let's get back to Ben, who is live in Royal Oak this afternoon for Arts, Beats, and Eats. And oh, I can hear the music in the background, Ben.
R&B Jazz stage just behind us, Karen, and I'll tell you, if you come out here, the one thing you are going to need is a pair of shades because that sun is bright, but it feels fantastic. Temperatures 70s all across the board this afternoon. As we look at those temperatures, our warmest numbers have been right around Metro at 75, but some areas still hanging on to the 60s. 68 up in Port Huron right now, 70 in Lapeer, Ann Arbor also at 75. Checking out satellite image, and there is not a whole lot to look at. We're under high pressure, and we're going to be that way through the upcoming weekend, and that means mostly clear skies, just a cloud here and there. And as that high slides to the south, that's going to keep anything possible from Hermine away from us. Clouds are even going to stay put out there on the eastern seaboard, but we will get a little bit more of a southerly flow as we get towards the end of the weekend. That's going to ramp up temperatures, and we'll start seeing the numbers come back into the 80s as we head towards the end of the 3-day stretch. But humidity is going to stay away, and those showers and storms you see out there to our northwest are not going to be in our picture until the middle of next week. Your 4-zone forecast tonight, mid-50s in Detroit, 53 in West Bloomfield. Troy, you're going to see 53, slightly cooler in our south zone as we'll wake up to numbers tomorrow morning in the low 50s for the most part, just a little bit cooler out towards Lake Erie. Our west zone, some of our cooler numbers, especially the inland numbers, as we're looking at 49 in Howell, 47 up in Flint tomorrow morning. And in our north zone, north of M59, looking at temperatures anywhere between about 48 in Sandusky and 52 in Rochester Hills. Here's your 7-day forecast as we'll see 78 for that high temperature tomorrow. And then those numbers start ramping up as we get towards the end of the forecast. And we'll make a run at 90 degrees by the time we get into Wednesday of next week. Of course, the tradition out here at Arts, Beats, and Eats, Ford has been a big sponsor. I'm with Dave from Ford Motor Company. And what is why is it important for you guys to be a part of this?
Well, one of the things Ford Motor Company loves to do is give back to the community. And this is such a fantastic event. It focuses not only on beautification, but art, and it gives people some fun and exciting things to do. And if it gives us a chance to connect with festival goers in the community, we enjoy it as much as they do. And I think candidly today we're having just as much fun as they are.
And you brought some swag with you. You've got some really cool cars.
We've got a 2017 Mustang GT, and we've got a 2017 Escape. And I will tell you, one lucky festival goer is going to win $30,000 towards the purchase or lease of one of these fantastic vehicles. And anyone who actually enters is going to get $750 towards the purchase or lease. So
Arts, Beats, Eats, and Cars.
Absolutely.
That's great. Dave, thanks for being with us. Appreciate all the work
man.
that Ford does. And we're also with Charisse, who's one of our artists. And Charisse, you're from Clarkston.
Yeah.
You said you used to work for General Motors of all people.
Yeah,
and then
took a buyout and decided I was doing art shows for a living.
So tell us a little bit about what you've got.
Well, mostly I work with polymer clay and then aluminum wire. So everything is extremely lightweight. I use all magnetic clasps, so it's real easy to put on.
Wow.
The wire is all aluminum, so it weighs nothing as well. And with the polymer clay, I can make it look any way I want, metallic or bright and wild. I've even used puzzle pieces for that piece over there where I found something looked interesting and I could change it into jewelry.
Very cool. And where can folks find you here at the fair?
I'm in booth number 2. If you go down Washington Street till you get almost to Lincoln, I'm booth number 2, right off of Lincoln.
Very cool. Thank you for being with us, Charisse. Great stuff. You can find all kinds of things. And yes, Karen, of course, we're going to find some food here before the 6 o'clock hour ends. So I hope I don't get it all over my white shirt.
I know. I don't know if you wore the right color for that, but I'm sure you will. Find some good food. All right.
You know what? I did it so I wouldn't eat barbecue. That's what sort of forced me to stay away from that.
That's smart thinking. All right. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. Let's talk good health right now. The FDA advising that all donated blood in the U.S. be tested for the Zika virus. So preparations are underway to comply. Kimberly Gill is here with more on that.
Yeah, Karen, it's not really clear yet when that Zika testing will begin in Michigan, since the early focus is on states in the South. But across the country, steps are being taken to begin the process of protecting the blood supply from Zika. Here's a look inside one of those blood collection centers. Dozens of donors a day, thousands of units of blood a year. This blood donor center provides 70% of the blood used at Mayo Clinic.
We really try to create a culture of creating the safest possible blood supply for our community.
But with Zika spreading fast, the FDA has advised that all donated blood in the U.S. be tested for the virus.
It's probably better to do it earlier rather than later in order to stay ahead of the Zika risk, so we can still look our patients in the eye and reassure them that we do have the safest possible blood supply for you.
To comply with the new rule, this blood donor center has 12 weeks to make the necessary changes, such as tweaking the questions asked to donors.
We're going to have to undo some of the processes that we put in place in the recent months.
In addition, adjustments need to be made to the center's computer and software system so they can recognize this new Zika test.
So it's mainly a lot of IT and logistical process changes.
Once all that's done, all donations will be tested for Zika.
This test that we're going to be using is the same test that has been used for the past several months down in Puerto Rico and then now also in Florida.
Here in Michigan, Red Cross representatives say a first step has already been taken to help protect the blood supply.
We are asking our donors if they've been to any place where there is a Zika outbreak, and if so, then to wait 4 weeks before they decide to donate.
And again, that question is now being asked of all potential blood donors across the United States because they really want to stay ahead of this risk.
Very good. All right. Thank you very much, Kimberly. Ahead first at 4, Grammy Award winner and current voice judge Alicia Keys speaks out about why she's refusing to wear makeup. Hi, Tim.
This is Tim Pamplin, downtown Detroit. Welcome to the gun show. The Exercise Bandit. He's going to try and beat a world record. It's rather wacky. You'll want to stick around for this.
Well, he is known as the Exercise Bandit. And today, Mr. Robinson Furniture in Detroit donated to the Cancer Society of America for every push-up that he did during his bizarre world record attempt. Our Tim Pamplin was there.
Everybody loves the Guinness World Records, the tallest, the shortest, the longest moustache, the longest fingernails, or the stretchiest neck, but nothing can touch Detroit's Exercise Bandit, this 74-year-old man. Look at those guns. Is about to set a world record. Quite an unusual one, you might say. It involves these things. They're called VHS tapes, popular in the 80s. Some Ajax and
a block of nails under my neck.
That sounds very dangerous.
It is, because if I fall, I can very well puncture my neck and blood be skirting out everywhere. And I do not want that to happen.
I don't think anybody wants that to happen. So outside Uncle Robinson's Furniture and the crowd's waiting. Let's cue the music. Here comes the Exercise Bandit. Again, he's hoping to set a record for most push-ups whilst balancing on VHS tapes and a can of Ajax, all above a bed of nails. So here we go, let's start the counter. I'll speed things up here a little bit. Again, 74 years old. The Exercise Bandit tells me as a child, he says keeping fit and exercising has been key to his long, healthy life. Look at the VHS tapes here. Squeaking under the pressure, the nails dangerously close to his neck. Is that it? That's as many as he can do. A round of applause from the crowd. What's that, 47? The Exercise Bandit says, you want to challenge him? Bring it. What a weird and wacky welcome to the holiday weekend. Tim Pamplin, back to you guys.
All right, maybe a bit strange, but you got to give that guy credit, man. That took skill. All right, Grammy Award-winning singer and songwriter Alicia Keys is one of this year's judges on The Voice. You might have noticed she didn't wear makeup on the special preview show, and that's something she addressed this morning while appearing on the Today Show.
You're not anti-makeup. You don't begrudge other people wearing makeup.
I love makeup. I love my lip gloss. I love my blush. I love my eyeliner. It's like not about that. At the same time, I don't want to feel beholden to
You're not
have
swearing
to
it off
do it.
forever. You're just not in the mood right now.
And I just want to be, honest to myself, and all of us should just be honest to ourselves, and yeah, just be yourself and have a great time and do what makes you feel good, as opposed to trying to please every damn body.
That story is definitely trending this afternoon on social media. You can see the 35-year-old on the season premiere of The Voice on September 19th. Ahead first at 4, Michael Phelps joins Jimmy Fallon to talk Rio Olympics. Plus, Jimmy surprises him with the return of Phelps' infamous angry face. We'll be talking about that next.
Here come the last.
Michael Phelps appeared on The Tonight Show last night and talked about his now infamous angry face.
I was sitting in the ready room, and I remember, like, I always know there's 2 cameras in the upper right-hand corner right before we walk out. And I'm, like, sitting there, like, spitting water, like, like, what is going on? And I, like, as I'm making a face, I was like, yep, that's on camera.
Oh, yeah, and that face went viral, that's for sure. All right, thanks so much for spending part of your afternoon with us. Inside Edition is next.